And hello once again. It's your good buddy Spider, and here we are with the first episode of Season 3 of your not-so-new favorite podcast. We've been around a while now. This is episode 41 in the whole total. So, we've been around a while. And since today is the first day of 2024, as far as we here in the United States measure these things, then that means tonight's episode is New Year's Day. So let's talk about this. You missed that sound, didn't you? You missed it. So, New Year's Day. You guys know me. I don't do the whole holiday thing too much. So I don't get into New Year's resolutions and things of that nature. Because let's rewind a little bit so we can build up to that, because that's part of the discussion. New Year's is a thing here in the United States, and for anybody else in the world who uses the same calendar that we do here. So I think it's the same in most of Europe and a few other places. I know China uses a different calendar because they have the Chinese New Year, and I think some other Pacific countries use a different calendar. I'm not sure if they do it in South America. I'm honestly not sure how widespread it is. I've never really looked into it that deeply. So that's an interesting point of research. But here in the United States, we celebrate after Christmas. We celebrate on December 31st. You've got New Year's Eve, which is there's a lot of things that go on, a lot of partying and things like that. And then you have, they always have the ball drop in, New York? New York City, is that where it's at? They drop this big ball in New York. It's like a big disco ball, but it's got, now it's got a screen on it that has the countdown, and people count down till the clock trips over to midnight for the beginning of the new year. And then the next day, there's traditions. There's some traditions people have. And one of them is kielbasa, which is a type of Polish sausage, kielbasa, and sauerkraut for dinner the next day, for New Year's Day. Now, I didn't do that because I didn't get around to it this year, and I'm the only person who would eat it in my house. Nobody else is going to eat it. So I'd be the only person eating it. So it was an expense I didn't really need to do this year. But that's something that people do on New Year's Day. Now, what else are you supposed to do for New Year's Day? On New Year's Eve, you're supposed to have a New Year's resolution that you're supposed to start on New Year's Day and go from there. Now, a New Year's resolution is supposed to be a statement you make for yourself to do something different, to better yourself, or to do something. Like some people be like, I resolve to lose 12 pounds in 2024 because for whatever reason you need to lose 12 pounds. I don't know, maybe it'll make you feel healthier. Or I resolve to be a nicer person because I'm a bit of a jerk. And clearly, I don't make those sorts of resolutions because I'm always a bit of a jerk. But but yeah, I didn't really make one per se, because I usually don't. I figure every single day of your life is an opportunity to be a better person, supposedly, if that's what you want to do. Or to be a worse person, if that's what you want to do, if you're into villainy. But I did decide that, I'm going to try to be a bit more communicative in my interpersonal relationships this year. So there is something, because there's always room for improvement. I mean, we can always improve. We can always improve ourselves. So that's something I'm going to work on. Is that a New Year's resolution? I don't know. You can call it that if you want. But I don't know. But yeah, it is now the year 2024. which means there's been 2,024 years since we started keeping track on this particular cycle. It's based on the solar calendar, which is based on the... it's from the Romans. The Romans. Okay, we all know those guys. We all know the Romans. What have the Romans ever done for us? All those different things. And it was tied to January because it's the Julian calendar, which I believe is named after Julius Caesar. Yeah, Julius Caesar, because he's the most famous of the Romans from the ancient past. Julius Caesar. And it was, the day was dedicated to Janus, not Janice from whatever sitcom you watch that has a Janice in it, but Janus, the deity of gateways and beginnings, for whom January is also named, according to good old Wikipedia. It was celebrated anywhere from 25th December, which we know is Christmas, for those of you who celebrate, or March 1st, or on March 25th, and occasionally during Easter. And most of us use a calendar called the Gregorian calendar, not the Julian calendar. The Gregorian calendar, which makes January 1st the first day of the year. So that's New Year's Day. And it's one of the most celebrated public holidays in the world. So I guess there's quite a few countries, other than the ones I mentioned, that get into New Year's Day, as far as this is concerned. There's fireworks and things, which is always kind of weird to me because it's cold. It is so cold. And who wants to be outside in the cold watching fireworks? I mean, I know we have fireworks on 4th of July and that kind of thing. But, man, in the cold, it just makes no sense. Ooh, pardon me. Makes no sense. Now, let's see here. No, it's not really a religious holiday. Some people do consider it a religious holiday, but they don't actually have a religious moment attached to it. And but many people still have the feast, a religious style feast, like Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner or something like that. You have New Year's meal, which I mentioned. Like, the tradition is the kielbasa and the sauerkraut. And there's a song, and I don't know if I'm going to get the pronunciation right. It's called Auld Lang Syne. Auld Lang Syne. I don't know. Let me see if I find what that means. I'm going to look it up and see what the translation... Because I've never actually... Okay, it's a popular song, traditionally sung to bid farewell to the old year at the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve. And occasionally it's often heard at funerals, graduations, and as a farewell or ending to other occasions. And here's an interesting thing that I did not know, that the text to it, the actual lyrics to it, is a Scots language poem written by Robbie Burns. Robbie Burns, the most famous Scottish poet ever. He's the one that they celebrate on Burns Night every year. If you don't know what that is, I'll probably come up with that on a future episode. Where they have like a big meal, and they have they have turnips and mashed potatoes, and they have haggis, and they have there's a poem written by Robert Burns, about the haggis, and they read it every year on Burns Night. It's a minor holiday for people of Scots descent. He's the guy who did the of Mice and Men poem. And I don't know it by heart. Okay, so I'm not going to do it for you. But he's the guy who did that. So if you're interested in that, we tried to do a little dinner for him every year. Not that we need to. It's like we weren't like buddies or something. He was long gone by the time I was around. But still. And again, it's traditionally sung Auld Lang Syne at the conclusion of New Year's in Scotland and around the world, especially in English-speaking countries. So that's cool. Some people are into that, some people aren't. And, yeah, so New Year's Day. New Year's Day. It's been kind of unremarkable for me today. I didn't do a whole lot today. I hung out with my daughter. Her mom was at work. It was a typical just hangout day. My furnace is broken again because it breaks at least once every single year because it's older than all of us in this household's ages combined. Maybe not quite that old, but it's pretty ancient. It's been around a long time. It's at least as old as I am, if not a little older. Which is a good run for a furnace, honestly. It is a good run, but the maintenance on it that we have to do every year to get it to run all the time is ridiculous. And this year it's stopped, and it hasn't wanted to heat anything at all once it actually got cold. So that's going to be my year. Starting off great already. But, that wasn't part of the new year. That actually was, that started a day or so before Christmas, a few days before Christmas. It just coughed its last cough, and I was like, nah, I don't want to heat the house no more. You have fun with that. So I got a space heater down here. I need another one because it's not quite doing it. If it gets really cold outside, we're going to be in trouble. But, and the cats are upset about it. They've all been, like, cuddling and snuggling and meowing. They don't like to be cold, of course. So, yeah, that's the start of my New Year's. But yeah, I didn't do too much today. But since it is New Year's Day and it's a new season, let's look forward. Let's look forward to the future. This is the first episode of Season 3, which means there are 19 more episodes to go in this season. So that's a total of 20 weeks. 20 weeks of you hearing my fantastically unaged, undifferentiated... I don't know, I'm throwing out words that don't make any sense, but you're going to listen to me for 20 weeks. 20 weeks. I got a couple guests lined up. I got some topics in mind. I've got some things to talk about, as you know. And it's going to be fun. We're going to have some good times. I've also got a lot of other things going on in my life as well. I've got kind of a new job, I suppose. I'm working with a record label local here in Ohio, and I'm working on promotions, and that's like musical promotions and artist development and merchandising and a podcast of their own that's probably not going to be exactly like this one. I'm sure it's going to be a little bit more rough around the edges because that's how these things usually go at first. But I think it'll end up really good in the long run. So I got that going on. I got more of this Uncanny Earth stuff going on as well. We have a lot of things happening. It's going to be a busy, busy year. And as much as I don't really do the whole, oh yeah, new year, new whatever, time to pedal to the metal, this year's kind of looking that way. Because everything I've had, like, working up to it has been just kind of waiting in the wings until after today, basically. because this is the last of the current holidays, and then after that it's just work. So a lot of good things happening, a lot of things moving forward. Things. How many times can I say things? I don't know. Can I say things other than things? How about stuff? Stuff, things, stuff. The cats are going nuts right now. I don't know what they're doing. They're playing around like crazy. So if you hear a bunch of like crash, bang, whiz, pow, Batman noises, he's in there yelling about it. What's the matter, man, huh? Did you want to be on the radio show? Maybe next time, buddy. You missed the Cats episode. You weren't here when the Cats episode was here. He's the new guy. He's been in for a while. Like, he's not new. I didn't just pick him up off the street yesterday. But he's newer than the rest. And so he's not always used to how some of these things go. He's causing a ruckus. But that's it. That's New Year's Day. What are you doing for New Year's? Are you guys having fun? You folks having a good time? Nobody got into any trouble on New Year's Eve? Huh? It's easy to do so. Please be safe. You know, we always want you to be around so you can listen to more podcasts from me, your good buddy Spider. I am still your buddy, right? You're not going to go into the new year and just be like, oh, well, my resolution is to stop listening to Spider because it's terrible. Well, fine, you just do that with yourself. But, yeah, lots of good episodes, lots of things upcoming. If you did anything fantastic, then please send me an email at uncannyspiritsclub@gmail.com. That is still the email. I'd love to hear from you. Or you can drop a comment once this episode hits YouTube, which should be at the end here. I don't think it uploads until the episode is over here on Spreaker. Let me double check something. I'm going to see if it's playing now. I don't think it is. But I'll take a look. View channel. Maybe it is. It's giving me some trouble on this thing now. My videos live. Yep. Yeah, I don't think it's putting it up there just yet. So it'll put it up there as soon as the episode here is over. So leave a comment on the YouTube. I would love to hear from you. That's my phone smacking against my leg there, in case you wondered. I'm not like beating any of these cats or anything. They would attack me with their claws if that were to happen. But yes. So this is a short one. Usually the first episode in a new season is shorter than the rest because it's a little introductory, just a refresh, a get back into the zone. Let's get to know each other again and then return to form. So here we are again, and it's good to be back. It is good to be back. Lots of things have happened over the last month or so since I've been off. And I'm looking forward to sharing all of the new things with all of you. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and shuffle on out of here. Stay tuned for next week, where we're going to have another brand new episode of Let's Talk About This, your favorite podcast. And the best of any other podcast or radio show that starts with Let's Talk About. You know what I'm talking about. That's right. So I'll see you next week.